What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another week. Another dram, another live stream. And today, what a day. What a freaking day. If you are a pro wrestling fan, which many of you have come to this page and this channel from that, what a damn day. We will get into all of that, I promise. Let me say hi to the crew. Unit Poke, what's going on? Ace Pitch is up in the house. Wes is here as well. The Whiskey Mutant himself, Eric Smith, what's going on? Whole Horse is here as well. Lutra, hello, one of our members, Lutra. Victor, Scorpion, another member as well. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Really quick, some little house cleaning stuff, by the way. The Knob Creek barrel pick that we selected right here live on this channel with a couple of our members is available from Liquor Barn. www.theliquorbarn.com. It is under there. Just literally, if you type in www in the search bar, you will find it and you can get it. And you will have a little taste of wrestling with whiskey that we picked right here on the show. They ship to 30 states, so please check it out. We quoted it as super crushable, as Jason Newman will remember, and our friend Travis Tattooed Vet. It drank so like light and refreshing for 120 proof. If you guys are not used to Knob Creeks, you're gonna love this one. Trust me. Have a little bit. So tonight, before we get into all the hullabaloo, and by the way, if you want to join that club, we're doing a lot of the podcast stuff. If you want to talk, ask questions to our straight shooting podcast guests, which seems like there might be some more possible on the way based on today's news as well. Just a little shout out, there's the club. If you want to be on an episode of this show, if you want to be on the live stream, we are doing roundtables every month. We're going to do another one this month with 3 of our community members. I found a much better way to do it, by the way, so we'll do it even better next time. You can join our social media sipping, but if you want to just be a part of the group and ask questions to our guests, get early access to YouTube videos, and once we get back into barrel picks, help us do that, you can join the club. Here's some of our social media sipping patrons. Thank you so much for your extra support. And of course, you can also join as a member here on the channel as well. So today we're going to be trying I got this flight a long ass time ago from Seamus. You can see my fingerprints all over it. And we were going to do like a Teeling tasting like on this channel or on Instagram or something with like me, him, and the people from Teeling, maybe Greg Hamilton or whatever, but never happened. And then all the 30 party stuff happened. So here we are. So it's the part I'm interested in, where it's the basic lineup. You have the small batch, which I've already poured a little bit of. You have the single grain, which we're going to try. Then you have the single malt. Yes, those are 2 different things. And then the one I'm very curious is the Black Pits, peated Irish whiskey. You know what I mean? I'm very curious. I don't think I've had a peated Irish yet. Lots of peated Scotch. Haven't had peated Irish. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. F's for the flight tasting to freak. What? I thought you were curious about the Teeling. Retracted the better. I was like, I thought you were interested in the Teeling. That's okay. I've already poured a little bit of the small batch as we get into our kind of first bit of conversation. But by all means, as I like to ask every single week, I want to know what you guys are drinking in the chat. If you've got something poured or you're going to pour something soon, please share it in the chat. Let everyone know what you're drinking. Oh, for not being... Gotcha. I gotcha. Thank you for clarifying, Drez. No kidding. You know what I mean? I know that would have been a fun stream. It would have been a fun collaboration. It would have been something really cool. So yeah, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for the tea. I am getting more and more into Irish whiskey. I like what they're doing. Glendalough is really good. Teeling's doing some very cool stuff. Yeah, it's very interesting. Wes has got Bellmead in his glass. Hell yeah. Victor Nunes with that Russell's 10 year. I just finished a bottle of Russell's 10 year. Oh, that stuff is so good. I stand by it. That is one of the best things I've like that you can get out there. And it's crazy how much there is of it. I'm so happy that's on the shelf every day. Please don't take it away. Please don't take it away. But no. Who else has got Weller Special Reserve for Scorpion? Ghost Coast for Sardog. That's interesting. Out of Savannah. Kimmel's got a Henry McKenna 10. You lucky bastard. You lucky bastard. That you even have some. I wish I would have picked up more bottles and saved more bottles, but I'm an idiot, so I didn't. And of course, now the world has dried up. But what the wonderful thing about whiskey is there's new stuff all the time, or there's new things that people are forgetting about all the time, like your 1920s, your Russell's 10s, your Maker's Mark cast strengths. So there you go. Hull Horse, you're on the road without your whiskey. Oh no. That's why you got to get one of those travel cases that I always carry with me. They're cheap, easy, and you can carry 2-ounce samples with you and a Glencairn, or just a shitload of samples if you want. I can share that in our Patreon group if you guys want to see how to make it. It's really, really easy, and it's carry-on approved. It's TSA carry-on approved. As long as it's under 100 milliliters, you're good. And it travels perfect every time. It's about this big. Fits in a big backpack. So maybe I will. I'll show you what I got. I'll show you guys what I got. But moving on to today's news. Here's what we get into. So this went down today, right? WWE has been on a bit of a tear lately, releasing some talent. They released, another crop of talent right after WrestleMania, kind of like they did with us last year. Again, like this COVID thing, pandemic-related cuts, blah blah blah. Still, there was some really good talent in that first pool that was let go, and it was crazy. I mean, you had Chelsea Green, who never really had a chance to get going. I know she had some injuries. You had the Iconics, who I think are one of the most misused pairs I've ever seen in recent memory, amongst other people. And then they started shifting some of the backstage talent, or digital. One of my really good friends, Brian Pelagato, who developed a lot of the .com and digital stuff for the network, for the website, for extra content. He was so good at what he did. He got let go, and a bunch of producers, digital producers and stuff, got let go. They were kind of combining departments and things like that, which okay. And then people like my old friend and manager Tom Phillips, who was an incredible professional. He gets let go from his role, and then today we get hit with huge stars. Braun Strowman, a main eventer, former world champion, was just in a world title match. Aleister Black just had a brand new Persona debut, getting ready to go into a storyline of sorts with Big E. And then Lana, who, has always kind of floated around, but has been complimented on how hard she works. Murphy, Ruby, and Santana, I know hadn't done a lot, but Ruby was universally liked backstage. Murphy is a workhorse who you could easily have done something with if you wanted. And Santana Garrett, I heard, had some plans potentially for her and is a solid performer. I don't know her too much personally. But huge names, especially Strowman and Black. One, because they're a main eventer, and the other one because they just literally had all that work done in vignettes to get them back. And on talking about that, we're going to get into the small batch, and Man, who knows what was going through the heads of people like that? I don't understand it. Like, normally I'm the guy who's trying to, like, rationalize. I try to think of the business side of things, right? I try to think of the flip side of the coin. Why is this going on? You know, if you're not in the main eventer, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's pretty. I've always said that unless you're one of a handful of people, everybody's very what's the word? Expendable. But then you see someone like Brunton. Now, here's the thing about Braun, and now it's starting to get around Twitter and everything like that. Braun was pulling down a lot of money. You know what I mean? Braun, God bless him, is not afraid to ask for what he wants or what he thinks he deserves. And he, as it's going around, don't listen to what you hear is the reported contract, okay? It might be inflated a little bit. Regardless, whatever it is, the point is not, was it making $1 million or more or whatever? That's not the point. The point was it was a lot of money. And it was relatively recently. It was like 2019, early 2020, before the pandemic hit. And so that's just a big expense. And you know someone like that, maybe they went to some of those top tier talent and were getting ready and we're like, hey, can these top guys, can you guys take a pay cut sort of thing? Like a small, I mean, you're all making 700, 800, nearing whatever it is, it's probably close to $1 million, if not $1 million. Asking them maybe cut it 100,000. I don't know. This is all speculation. And maybe Braun didn't want to. But I know he was making a lot of money. So sometimes that's what happens. Samoa Joe, I think, might have been a similar situation. He, I think, negotiated not a huge thing like that, but I think he had a pretty hefty, a good deal, considering all the work he had done on, both in NXT and then on Raw, the stuff he did with Brock. Vince really liked him, so I'm sure they gave him a good deal when he came to the main roster. And if they didn't think he was going to wrestle again, and he was going to stay on comment, that's a lot of money to pay someone to stay on, and commentate one show a week, minus pay-per-views. And I'm sure Joe didn't want to take a pay cut. Maybe he wanted to keep wrestling and stuff like that. So there's things like that to consider too. So, cheers. I'm going to take my first sip. This is the Teeling small batch, ladies and gentlemen. Teeling's very light. 46 ABV. Not crazy high. Disney, so everyone talking about a sale, right? A potential sale of WWE. It's possible. Trying to clean up the books. Maybe make it seem like a leaner, more efficient, more profitable company, especially as they get back to live crowds. We don't know how many are going to come back. WWE had a little time. I think it'll be good, but they had a little bit of you guys have seen even the TV buildings half full and all that stuff, right? So I think maybe they're worried about not being able to draw a ton, with people still nervous about COVID, and they had struggled to fill buildings before. I think it'll be good at first because people want to get back to events. I think they'll do very well, but they want the company to look as profitable as they can for a sale. This sale thing, I'm not sold on. I just not yet. We're getting close to that point. There's a lot of talk from where I'm coming from that new president Nick Khan has a lot of influence in the operations of WWE. I'm not sure, obviously he's not booking storylines and creative, but he has a lot of say on where the money goes, and that's talent and what talent. These are very unique individuals. I mean, from Braun to Alistair, Lana, Murphy, Ruby. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. So, I don't know exactly. I, of course, can't give you the exact kind of thing. It's interesting. Would a sale make, if there was a sale, something like NBC Universal would make sense, actually. The deal with Peacock, Raw is on the USA Network, which is a NBC Universal subsidiary division, I believe. I believe USA is owned by NBCU. And yeah, I mean it would kind of make sense. That said, it's hard. Everyone says it's hard to believe Vince won't ever do it. Vince won't ever do it. Vince won't ever do it. The guy he's getting on. Maybe he's ready for his exit, and maybe he's not just going to sell his stock. He wants to sell the company, maybe get a big boon to his stock price, to his assets, buying him out of the company, and then retire in golden sheets. I don't know. That's the other side. Maybe he's finally ready to toss it in. Finally ready to toss it in, and just wants as much money from the sale as much as they can. So, who knows? I don't think there will be Josh Photography. I don't think there will be a sale either. I don't think they will sell the company. They'll continue to sell and license content. So, I think that'll be very interesting. Cryptic, the Fox deal would have nothing to do with it. Those are separate deals. So you can still sell the company to something like an NBC Universal, and they still have a deal with Fox to air because WWE would still be its own company. It would just be under the umbrella of another company. Say it is Disney. Say it is Universal. They could still make deals with other networks to air their programming. WWE programming would now just be their programming. You know what I mean? So that's what would happen there. Adam, most people, I can't imagine Vince would give it up either. There's everyone talks about he's gonna hold on to it until he's dead, right? Which is entirely possible. The man is stubborn. The man, this is his baby. He built this from the ground essentially. He took it from what his dad had and just rocketed it to the sky. Hino, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. There's a lot of things to consider. You know what I mean? Jimmy in chat, you bring up a great point. You want profit to be higher. And that's kind of what I was saying before, especially as you get back to touring, and now we're getting back to being like, oh, we got to fill buildings again. And like I said, we're not sure how many buildings we're going to be able to fill and how much money that'll make. So we take some of these contracts, keep cutting. The other thing is too, you never know. Maybe there's a rebranding of the direction they want talent to go in. Maybe they're going to bring on have been hiring more talent. Maybe they bring on a shitload of talent in the next 4 to 6 months in an attempt to kind of, I know AEW isn't real competition, but if they see that the people are talking about that, that style of wrestling, they want to keep embracing that. NXT is its own thing now, and maybe they need to recapture that kind of, I don't know, indie spirit that they had with early NXT. So who knows? Maybe they hire a bunch of Evolve talent. Maybe they buy another. Maybe they're looking to buy another indie or something like that. Invest some money there. Maybe they're looking to ramp up the NXT stuff that they were talking about before. Going to Japan, going to South America, things like that. Maybe that's still in the plans and they need to cut some ties there. You know what I mean? There are a lot of possible situations. It just blows my mind. Some of the talent, though, no matter what direction you're going, a lot of these people could have been very, very, very valuable. Especially someone like Black. Brought him to you. I know he would cost a lot of money, but hot damn. Cobalt Puff, we are doing a Teeling flight tonight. A flight of Teeling whiskeys. I'm just finishing the small batch here. So Ace, think they should have stayed on the WWE network instead of joining Peacock. The WWE network still exists. It does. It still exists overseas. The Peacock deal is only domestically. Peacock and WWE is only a domestic US deal. Overseas, the WWE network still exists. But you ask me, that was a smart move. That was a very smart move. Less overhead, less work for them, and pretty much the same amount of money they were making off the network alone. So they also did bring in a ton of people. Sometimes you might need to cut it down. And that is fine. I think even before WWE started loading on talent to combat AEW, to keep people from going to AEW in those early days. Even before that, it was a little bit bloated already. There was a ton of talent. There's already a ton of people not being used, and then they were just locking people into deals. You know what I mean? So here is the single grain, by the way, the single grain Teeling. So this is different than a single malt. Yeah, no brainer move for the Peacock move. Yeah, I see a lot of people in the chat not a fan of how it works. That's fine, and I'm not a fan of seeing. Well, no, I'm joking, but like it's funny seeing Angelo Dawkins show up on my TV 3 times a day. So, because I like the Peacock app. I like The Office and all the crap they have on there. But man, it's fascinating to think about why they would frickin' do this. Dresden, you brought up what about happens to Braun? Braun said he would never want to work for any other company. I do see that. I mean, here's the thing. Braun's pretty smart when it comes to his money. You know what I mean? He is. So if he's had a pretty good deal, even if it wasn't this gigantic one he just got, he's probably had a pretty good deal the last several years. So if he's saved well, and I know he lives in the woods in Florida, doesn't probably cost him a ton. He could be set for quite a while. Maybe not the rest of his life, but he's probably set for a while. And then can kind of call his shots as he goes. He can keep wrestling, or he could probably do some other shit. Go broadcasting freaking strongman competitions. Go work. He could probably go work for Redcon supplements right now. You know what I mean? A lot of guys in the chat bringing up. Yeah, no, you bring up all valid points too. A lot of people have said the same thing before. That's very true. And I don't think he's done. But I'm saying for a while. I don't think he's gonna go and disappear and just retire in the woods. No. Ooh. Ooh, baby. I've had this before, but it's been a while. That's interesting. That's got this nutty caramel nature to it that I really, really like. Braun will definitely not do strongman stuff again. I will tell you that. No, he's too old. He's too old. He's a little too beat up. He's talked about it. That's why he got so lean. He doesn't like being that big and that heavy anymore. You know what I mean? The single grain face. That's what. Ooh. It's really nice. It's a lot different than the small batch. I thought these were all going to be kind of similar, except for the peated. But the single grain is actually really nice. It's more grainy. It is a single grain. Let me look this up real quick. I want to see exactly what makes it single grain. They could re-sign them if business picks up. That's true. Look at Drew, but Drew's kind of a different case. He left when they were doing good business, and he reinvented himself, got in incredible shape, totally turned around. Same kind of with Jinder. So Braun doesn't need to do that, though. That's the thing. He's in probably the best shape of his life. He's on the kind of just coming off a hot run this last year or so. He's just been pretty much a main event guy in some way, shape, or form. So like, you could always resign. Yeah, you could resign anybody if business picks up, things like that. Abso-freaking-lutely. But it's a different circumstance than someone like a Drew. Braun. Can you imagine Braun, Mark Henry, and Big Show as a 3-man booth on AEW? Like, I mean, goddamn. I mean, besides the table breaking the minute they sit down, and the chairs breaking the minute they sit down, and the stage breaking the minute they sit down. That's really nice. That's really nice. There's like this confectioner's vanilla-ness almost to it. Mmm. 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 That almost reminds me of a rye. I really like that. That would be a big, strong... Yes, it would. Big, strong boys. Gives a whole new meaning to the term big, strong boys. Am I right? So a lot of these guys... Here we're going. We're going with the single malt. So if you know anything about your Scotch or your Scotch whiskey, a lot of those are single malts. Same process here, but we're talking about Irish whiskey instead of Scotch whiskey. So one thing I want, everyone is now kind of playing fantasy GM, where these guys are going to end up. I sent out a tweet earlier today that I want some people to think about. Now, of course, I think a lot of these big name Braun probably will be offered a lot of things. I feel like Tommy End will as well, which Aleister Black. But between the release in April and this, it's a lot of talent that is coming off of their non-compete clauses in July, between July and September. You know what I mean? Here's the other thing. There are indies that are running, of course. Here's the thing. A lot of independents are coming off of a year of not running shows, of not making money. A lot, and then we have you have the big companies like Impact, AEW, and then you have like New Japan, which is having a bunch of travel issues with they can't really bring people over or send people over. They're having a lot of issues with that. You have like MLW, you have Ring of Honor, but none of these companies, none of them have unlimited budgets. And a lot of these talent are high-level talent, and they deserve, a good payday for wherever they show up. Now, is someone like Braun going to get $1 million anywhere else? Probably not. But again, the Iconics, Samoa Joe, Aleister Black, there is not a ton. It's not enough money in wrestling necessarily to have everybody signed to major companies the minute their contract allows them. So the one thing I will say is just be patient when these non-competes are over and Chelsea Green isn't signed immediately. Should probably end up somewhere. But I mean, like Billy Kay isn't signed immediately. Braun Strowman isn't showing up somewhere. Buddy Murphy's not showing up on Impact or showing up on Dynamite the week after his non-compete gets up and stuff like that. it's a it's gonna be a good year for wrestling coming out of this. Starting in late summer, fall, as things hopefully stay nice and healthy and clean and good into early 2022, it should be good. You know what I mean? People want to get back to events, so it will happen. But again, just keep in mind, we're coming off of a bad year. So the money is not like flowing. It will be hopefully next year when hopefully there's a live, kicking, on fire independent scene and basically non WWE scene. Hopefully. Hopefully, yes. But like right away, if your favorites or some of these incredibly talented people aren't showing up at these big companies right away, have some patience. You never know what the situation is. Not everybody has all the money in the world. You know what I mean? Here we go. This is a single malt. Reminds me a lot of scotch already, but a little bit lighter, a little bit sweeter. Scorpion Tom. Yeah, no, I saw Tommy streaming today. You know what I mean? So I think they're all going to be fine and they will workplace. I'm not saying like they're going to disappear. I'm just saying if certain people don't show up, if everybody who got released doesn't show up in some major company or on TV again, like within 6 months, doesn't mean that these companies are screwing up or what the hell's wrong with wrestling and all this stuff. It's again, they're coming into it. You know what I mean? They're coming into a new year. It's hopefully going to be real good. Real, real good. By the way, single malt, very nice on the nose. Mmm. Ooh. Single grain or single malt? This one is much more delicate. It's got this really nice bitter grain on the finish, kind of like a scotch, like bitter, light fruit. Again, that kind of almondiness that I get on like scotches. Hmm. I would say single malt is a little bit more delicate and layered and like evolved, but single grain is more interesting. If you're interested in Irish whiskey, those two would be good for like if you bought two bottles. They're not, I don't think they're crazy expensive either. Um, Rob, I wonder how Black's release has an impact on whatever deal his wife was. So that has never been confirmed. Let's also try to remember that. The Zelina going back, spotted at the performance center, everything, nothing was confirmed. She might have been meeting with someone and then maybe nothing happens. She might have been meeting with something and something's going to happen in a few months. Like pit stains. She might have been going to do something with Alistair. Maybe they were going to film something together. She was going to come with him. And now it all fell through. Nothing was confirmed by anybody anywhere ever. So who knows on that? You know, that's even that to me that's beyond speculation, sort of a thing. DeFreak, when you try the single malt green apple pie, you know what? I think that's great. Great note. I think that's kind of the word I'm looking for here. Let me go again. I'm gonna want to change t-shirts, you know. Green apple for sure, freak. Green apple for sure. I'm not getting too much pie, like crust, like almost like graham crackery, pie crusty kind of note. I'm not getting so much of that, but green apple for sure. Ace Pitch has a question. What if they said people are fine with taking lesser money since some have made good money? Just want to. I'll tell you this. Totally fair question, Ace. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And you have to be careful with that. Because here's the thing. We all just want to wrestle some, like, people who love this, trust me, I know. Like, we just want to get in front of fans and do our thing and perform and fucking wrestle. That's, at the end, it is what it comes down to. But promoters, especially outside of, even in WWE, but at least at WWE, they're paying you good damn money. But outside of WWE, they will kind of, not everybody's bad, don't get me wrong, but they will cut any corner. They will try to exploit you. They will try to get you to take, like, it is a fight to keep your value on the independents sometimes. You know what I mean? So you have to know your worth and then hold your ground. You know what I mean? Now they're probably going to have to take less money than, if they took whatever their indie bookings are, like, may not equal, if you just did book, it may not all equal exactly your WWE salary. So yeah, it'll be a little bit less, but you have to pick a price and not let anybody like talk you down. Because like the minute you say, all right, well, I guess I'll work for this much for that guy, that's going to find out, oh, well, wait, now you're charging me this, you're charging me that. You know what I mean? So they will, like I said, they will set a price that is appropriate for them. But the thing you have to know your worth, and you hold steady with that. So like Aleister Black is not, Braun, I don't know if Braun's even going to work for indies, but someone like Aleister Black who does want to wrestle really, really bad, he may not work for every indie because every indie may not be able to work for, for the X amount of dollars. It's about knowing your value. And Ace, I'm hearing you again. There's a lot of ways to make, yes. And so like Alistair and Zelina can stream on Twitch. They do very well there. They can make a YouTube channel. They can sell their merchandise lines and stuff like that, of course. But at the end of the day, it's still about knowing your value as a performer, knowing your background, what you did, what your value is. So that's what I'm saying. He's going to show up. There will be places that are willing to pay him. Don't get me wrong. Him, Murphy, Heidi Lovelace, a.k.a. Ruby Riott, Lana maybe. There will be places that will pay him 110%. How the hell? There's places that'll pay for my candy ass. And I was the guy who got beat up in Rusev Day and an announcer. How you doing? So people will, but I'm just saying he may not show up at every little indie around the country because he knows his value. That's all I'm saying. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people just being like, yeah, I'm going to work for $100 because I love wrestling. That is not a smart thing to do. As spirited as it sounds, and as virtuous as it sounds, like I'll wrestle for free. I'll wrestle for $50 or whatever. Nah. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, just join this whiskey club. Join the Patreon, become a member here on the channel, or just subscribe to the channel. Drop a like. It's fun. I know, I'm just joking around with you guys. I love you guys, for real. Josh, which I saw you before. Yes, Tatsu, what's going on, man? How do you know your worth? So it's a lot of things. It's, a lot of these guys have indie backgrounds, right? So they kind of knew what they were able to charge before. Now they have all this notoriety and WWE exposure, so it's going to be a little bit more. You judge it based on what you think, what you know your friends maybe are able to get, what people who, have had maybe a similar kind of career, and a lot of it's just guessing. You know what I mean? When I last year when I got released, I asked some people I trusted. And I was like, and I don't really have experience on the indies like a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I had to ask around and be like, is there? I don't know. Like I want to charge this, but is that too much? But I don't want to like sell myself short. It is. It's a hard gamble, but you usually find a good medium. You find your groove. You know what I mean? It is a weird thing. But when you're in this business, you gotta have to always think about it. So it's not as weird as it might seem to like to you, where it's like, I don't know what I would if I was just thrown out into the world, what I would charge for my services or whatever. But it kind of comes with the territory in wrestling. So Ace, thank you very much. I love the announcing. I'm getting into esports and stuff too. Hopefully soon. I'm doing an event with the Florida Mayhem Overwatch team actually on Friday. So, yeah. So I love announcing, and I would love to replace Taz on AEW. I'm not shy about that. Yeah, 3 whiskeys deep. V Pool just got the Habiki. What's going on? Habiki 17 year. Oh my goodness gracious. Good for you. Jason Newman in the chat. Thank you for that super chat. Spreading the love, Jason. You're awesome. Jason, talking about our Knob Creek pick, which I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. You're thanking me for making that happen. And I appreciate it. And you know what? I'm happy to bring all of us together. But you made it happen too, brother. You were on that pick. You were on that pick. You helped make that one happen. That, again, to quote our friend The Grease over at the podcast, that super crushable Knob Creek is available now. Available now at theliquorbarn.com. I feel like I should probably even bring it up. I should be like, just to show people. This is what I do, guys, in my spare time. We picked this bottle. We have our own unique individual barrel. Ours is just shy of 10 years. So they actually, to be fair, they actually got a pick of our bottle. They didn't use a placeholder for this one. This one's actually accurate. So we are just shy of 10 years on this barrel. 120 proof, super light, sweet. Jason Newman helped us pick it. So did Sardog in the chat. Oh my. It's just yummy. So somebody in the chat asked my favorite, yes, Andrew asked my favorite Teeling so far. Ooh. No, and they actually recently upped the price, Prelt, for the knob. They used to be $40. Now they're $50. You know what? So far, Andrew, the single malt is the best. Eric Smith in the chat. Thank you for your super chat, brother. Thank you very much. Go buy some snack cakes. I gotta catch up on my pairing game. You know what I mean? I gotta catch up on with you on my pairing game with my desserts. Maybe you stick to like snack cakes and desserts. I'll start finding different cuts of meat. Like the only meat I like with whiskey is like, like prosciutto, like cured meats, fatty cured meats. So I'll do my version. Thank you very much, Eric. You're freaking awesome. The Whiskey Mutant, everybody, and Jason Newman with incredible support and super chats there. Appreciate you guys. Dresden, can you drop? Yes, please. Please do. As I get ready to try the black pits. The black pits of Teeling. Dear God, what is in the black pits? We will find out. What is in the black pits? Oh God, now I gotta refocus. There we go. I got a fresh glass for the black pits. Stain pits for the... You want me to take my shirt off? I did it with the podcast. Don't tempt me. It is warm in Chicago. Black pits for stain pits. Please don't sniff Alistair Black. Wow, there you go. Topical, Dresden. Love it. Love it. Ooh, it's definitely peated, but it's not heavily peated. You know what I mean? Also, here, by the way, really quick. All of our picks, these 3 picks are available, not all of them. These 3 picks are available at the Liquor Barn still. So we have a Woodenville. We have a Woodenville barrel. This was a really nice one. This is one of the first ones we did. There's a couple left. We have the Knob Creek, and we also have an untitled single barrel. This baby is fascinating. Fascinating. So all of these are available at the Liquor Barn. Your best bet is to go to Wheeling. The Wheeling location, Wheeling, Illinois, is fantastic. Is the best one. That's that's kind of the headquarters location. If you want to check it out. Ben Durr, yes you can. Again, go to the Wheeling, Illinois location. Ooh. You're damn right, Eric, they are. Andrew, would I call it an iodine, like a medicinal? I don't know if I'd call it that. Prelt, you know not of this, Alistair. Oh, that's right. Tommy End is back, baby. This is the end. My only friend, the end. Tommy End. DeFreak, I agree with you 100%. That's why I use a fresh glass for this peated whiskey as well. So getting back to Andrew, no, it's not. It's slightly medicinal. Not iodine, but slightly medicinal on this peated Irish whiskey. Yeah, thinking about it, dude, Dresden. If you want, I can help you out in that department, maybe too. I was just thinking about it. So, Robert or I can help you out. I literally just thought of something. So if you want to message me later too. But whatever works best for you. I have an idea. I have ideas too. Unipoke, do I work? I mean, we do with some of these barrel picks because I can't, I or us as a group can't buy the barrel picks on our own. A store with a license has to buy them. And then we work with them. We select it. And it's like they're the ones who buy it, but then they're the ones who make the profit off it. So like, for example, we and I don't make any money off the sale of these bottles. You know what I mean? I am not legally allowed to make a profit off of this bottle, even though we picked it. We picked it ourselves because I don't have a liquor license. Blah 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 blah. It's a whole thing, 3-tier system. Blah 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 blah. But yes, we partnered with them to select these barrels. Would I describe it as sharper? No, there's not a crazy nasal. It doesn't move up into the nose a whole lot. I have an idea, chat. For my whiskey friend, I'm going to pour a little extra of the Black Pits. I want to get a sense for the level of peat, because peat is not my strong suit either. I want to get a sense, though. Where are you, my So. Scorpion with his super chat. You're paying for the bottle. Oh, that's my illegal cut of the Knob Creek bottle. So, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you, brother. So I'm gonna compare the Black Pits. That's the Irish whiskey. I'm gonna try it next to this. So Robert, you might injure. This is the Ardbeg Wee Beastie. It's a young one. It's 5 years, but Ardbeg is notoriously peaty as fuck. I'm now Al Capone. Thanks to you, Joe. I appreciate that, man. So let's compare levels of peat. Ace, not to be negative, but no, that's fine. I appreciate that. I hope to end up somewhere soon. It's weird because the last year and a half of my WWE tenure was commentary, and I think a lot of people kind of forgot that I was in the mix. And brother, I can go. And I'm going to tell you something right now, but you can't tell anybody, okay? Can I tell you something? But you have to promise to keep it a secret. I haven't even told my Twitch chat this. And we will talk about, this is a small group of us here. 2 weekends ago, I'm just saying, 2 weekends ago, I may or may not have filmed 2 matches for New Japan Strong. I'll leave it at that. It is a long time before they air. You know what I mean? So I'm really not supposed to say anything this early. And I'm not going to tweet about it. I'm not going to comment on any tweets about it. So just to say that. I'm not going to reply to anything. But it was a really great chance. And it's going to be, I had a really good time. And hopefully I'll do some more stuff with them. So I can't comment on specifics, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I will not respond to anything. If you tweet about it, I'm not, or anything, I'm not going to do that. So no, that was in Los Angeles. That's where they film it. So no, it was a lot of fun, and I got to meet a lot of fantastic people. And I'm looking forward to any kind of future that might be there. So, This is the Black Pits, left left hand Black Pits, right hand Wee Beastie. This one's 100% lighter. Dresden, great question. Right now, strong. Unfortunately, I feel like they need work in their social department. Um, I think it's only on New Japan World. They don't have like an Access TV deal or anything. I think that I wish they would. They should. It's worth it. I believe it's only on the New Japan World app. Hemi, I'm fine. It's really not a huge deal. They just asked that I didn't tweet about it or really put it out there until like the week before it's announced. But I feel I'm having a good night with you guys. And just give you a little tidbit. Like I said, I'm not going to say anything. Oh, it's on Fight? Okay, Robert Anderson. I don't even know because I haven't seen it on Fight. But if it is, fantastic. Yeah. So the Black Pit's Irish whiskey is much lighter. I'm going to taste it. Again, the peat is very light. It's nice. It's actually pleasant. Try to clear my palate as best I can. I don't know if I can do that with a peated frickin' scotch. My goodness gracious. Oh, shoot. John Livingston, welcome to the opening contest. Being a member of the channel here. Everybody, welcome John Livingston as an official member of the channel. And don't forget, you guys have the access to chair emotes because I do chair spins as my rating system. Out of 5 chair spins, you can check it out. Wee Beastie is very peaty. It's almost to that point of like briny, like salty seafood level peat. It's fascinating. Peat is not my go-to thing. And so I every time I never touch this. I got it as a gift. And I'm still like up here. I don't touch it. I had it as a review when I was interviewing my friend who works for Artbag. And I'm like, this is fascinating. I'm never going to drink it again. And now I'm having it again. I'm like, wow, it really is interesting. After having like bourbon and rye for like 8 months straight, when you jump into like a young, peaty motherfucker of a whiskey, pardon my French, like young, bold. It's not crazy high proof, but man, it is really interesting. You know what I mean? This is the Ardbeg. Salty, smoky, campfire, like I said, briny seafood almost, like fishy, but good. I don't know. Versus the Black Pits, which is light, more delicate, a touch of smoke. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like a lightly peated scotch, that kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Victor, that made you add Weebies. Check it out. I think it's worth it. It's pretty. It's not crazy hard to find. It's a fascinating dram. It really is. I never touch it because it's not my thing usually. But now that I'm back at it, I'm like, shit, it's really interesting. It really is. Are there any, by the way, Ace Pitch, are there any wrestlers that you'd love to wrestle that you haven't? Oh my God, everybody. The entire AEW roster with the, exception of my friends there. Ty Dillinger, FTR, I've wrestled those guys a bajillion times, Miro, stuff like that. But yeah, that whole roster, Impact, New Japan, it's so much fun. Like, it's intimidating wrestling new people, but I love it. I love it. Because you get to do different shit. You know what I mean? It's so much fun. Sardog, and when wait, I gotta look this up. That's a challenge, Sardog. We're gonna look this up together. What the hell is it? Surstroming? Is this a thing? No, I'm looking this up. Oh, it's herring. Oh, Sardog, you got me on it. It's fish. It's a Swedish fish. Yeah, okay, never mind. Not doing that. I thought it was a whiskey. I thought it was a damn whiskey. Ace Bitch, anyone specific? Man, no. I don't like it. I'm sorry, like everybody. I wanna work with everybody. Because there's so much good talent out there. You know what I mean? I want to work with all of them. It's tinned fermented fish that everybody. I mean, this is a whiskey channel, Sardog, but shit, I'm game. You know what I mean? Now, here, let's do this. I got a little bit. This is the Wee Beastie. Got a little bit of the Black Pits. Let's mix that. You know what I mean? Yeah, anybody in the trip, please like the video. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. It helps us out. I appreciate that. Drop a like after, whether now or I don't know how it works exactly. After the video, like after we're done being live, drop a comment just saying you enjoyed the stream. That kind of stuff helps us just kind of pop off in the YouTube algorithm as well. I'm always appreciative of that. Jordan Benoit, I've been wrestling, here and there. It'll open up more in the summer. I just talked about it a little bit. Oh my God. If you missed that, I'm not saying it again. If we hit 100 likes, no, we will not. Nope. It's going to cost a lot more than that to get me to shave my mustache. Okay. So, this is the combination of the Black Pits and the Wee Beastie. I was not intending it to do a blending, scheme tonight. But you know. Ooh, it's almost like a nice, sweeter. Crush that like button like you crush your whiskey. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Ooh. The wee beastie takes over for sure. The wee beastie is strong. The wee beastie is a beast. But the Black Pits cuts into it nicely. Adds a little bit of lighter fruit. Okay. Wow. That's a surprisingly nice little quick blend. I'd say it's like, if you had to like recreate it, it wasn't very much not exact, but probably about like two parts wee beastie to 1 part Black Pits. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all. I mean, shoot. Daria Chick, welcome into the stream. Just joining. Today's show, we were doing a flight of Teeling Irish whiskey. With the last being a peated Irish whiskey, which we're comparing to the ultimate peat brand Ardbeg Scotch whiskey. Just kind of seeing how it all goes. DeFreak, thank you. Yes, that is exactly what we got going on. Ace Pitch, you meet me and Gentleman Jervis. Oh, I know who Gentleman Jervis is. Shoot. You think I don't know who Gentleman Jervis is? Shit. See this ear? I keep it to the ground. I always have, even when I was with WWE. I keep that shit to the ground. You know what I mean? Sorry, somebody just sent me a message. Scorpion, you call shenanigans the ultimate Pete is Pete. Should I get Pete Gas on straight shooting? Oh shit. I'll get Pete Gas and I'll send him all peated whiskeys. Well, peated with Pete. Peated Pete. Good old Pete. Yes, from Scorpion and Devin, two of our members here on the channel. Daria. So this is, excuse me, totally fair. Because we can. I'm hitting that point. We combined the Black Pits and the Wee Beastie into one sample. So this is kind of different than anything I've had tonight. Prelt, I'm Gentleman Jervis, El Generico, and Danhausen wrapped into one? Nah. Well, there are aspects of each that kind of play off each other. I will say that. It was just brief. Daria Chick, it was just brief, I promise. This is really, it's actually a nice, like I said, it's a nice little blend, actually. Very interesting. See, like peat is not my thing either. Like peated whiskeys are not my freaking thing. But every time I have them, it always makes them like they're interest. I am trying to figure out if like I like them, or if is it just like almost like a science experiment, where it's like it's interesting and I can appreciate it, but I don't want it on like a regular basis. You know what I mean? For the peated whiskeys, things like that. I'm still debating that kind of thing. But I do always find them fascinating. Don't get me wrong. They're always fascinating. They're always interesting. They always make me want to learn a little bit more. And that's the key to this whole hobby. We talk wrestling. We talk everything. We talk sweaty pits because it's hot in Chicago. But it's just learning more about everything. You know what I mean? Robert Anderson, new Lagavulin. Lagavulin is very interesting. I had it a few times when I was overseas. It didn't end up being one of my favorites, but I do respect what they do. And I love Nick Offerman. I'm such a freaking mark for Nick Offerman. Finished in Guinness cask, which is very interesting because I'm not a beer guy at all, but I like Guinness. And I'm Irish, and I'm a mark. So all of that sounds very interesting to me. What is the retail price on the new Lagavulin Offerman thing? Is it expensive? It's probably like $80, something like that? I don't know. Is it age stated or not? I don't remember. Guinness is great. Even despite my Prout brings it up in the chat. Despite my poor experience with Irish car bombs, which are delicious, but I had some rough thinking. Scorpion, you highly recommend making a Guinness float. How do you make is this Guinness and ice cream? Like, for real? Is that all it is? Because I would definitely do that. I would absolutely do that. $80. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Ace, what do I think about what MLW is doing with their draft? I mean, it works for them. I don't think WWE would ever do it that way. Why do it on social media when you can do it on national television? Pretty much simple like that. Daria Chick, what part of what part of Ireland is your family from? We are from County Mayo. My grandfather is from Charlestown, County Mayo, and my grandmother this is both on my mom's side, is from Irishtown, County Mayo. So that's where we're from. Guinness and Villanova. That sounds great. That sounds amazing. I might go do that right freaking now, chat. I appreciate all of you. Quick stream, relatively. Yeah, I like the single malt is my favorite one if I had to choose one. To me, there's just so much depth there. Nice depth of flavor. Interesting notes. Like the black pits and all the other stuff are very interesting. The single malt Teeling Irish whiskey is the most refined, layered, mature tasting whiskey out of the bunch. But everything I had tonight was good. The discussion I had with you, chat, was good. You guys brought awesome questions, both wrestling and whiskey, which is why I started this whole thing. You guys are awesome. Thank you to our core members in the chat. People like Scorpion, people like Jason Newman, people like Whiskey Mutant Eric, popping out super chats, joining as members, Dresden for being a mod, all this kind of stuff. Thank you so much. You guys are great. If you're newer to this stream, if you're newer to this YouTube Wrestling with Whiskey stream, please, 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 please join us every Wednesday. I do this once a week. You know, my Twitch channel, Drama King Matt, is live multiple times a week. We're playing games. We're talking wrestling. We do all kinds of stuff. But here, we focus on whiskey. I do talk about wrestling, all that kind of stuff too. But this is kind of just a different angle here. Live on YouTube every single Wednesday. Put out different videos about reviews. Whiskeys you should buy, things that you should do that. All kinds of stuff. So, definitely keep coming back. Bring your enthusiasm, bring your questions. Always, always, always be wrestling with whiskey and try different things. Dresden, you should be. I will double check. Don't worry. I appreciate you, and I will make sure that is worked out. I promise. But you guys are awesome. I will see you next week. And hopefully, wasn't able to record with Eric Young for straight shooting, technical difficulties. I will be in touch with him, as well as some of our recently released friends, to maybe get some side of their side of the story. Have a few drams with my friends in the wrestling business. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Have a great night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. And I'll see you